Hello people of the interwebs, and today I want to spend a few moments talking to you about my reaction to the Kaladesh update announcement video that's been on the Wizards website, and you can find that same video probably on YouTube. So I just want to give you my initial thoughts and what I think of what they're bringing in and give you that. So we're going to kick things off with the mechanics of Kaladesh that are coming in. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is energy. Now energy is a new resource. There are going to be cards in Kaladesh that give us energy. Now these are going to be represented in the form of counters. They're put on the player and they're put to one side until you decide to spend them. Now they are a one-shot resource, so once you've used them, they're depleted, you don't get them back. They're not reusable resource like your mana is. So there's something to think about as well. How good energy is going to be remain to be seen. Obviously we'll find that out with the release of Kaladesh. There's a couple of cards I've got my eye on that I think are going to be really good with the energy mechanic, and there's a bunch of stuff that I would love to test out to see how good energy is with the release of Kaladesh. So I am really looking forward to Kaladesh dropping for that reason alone, and among other things I'm going to talk about as well. The next thing I'm going to touch upon is that we now have vehicles in Magic. We're getting vehicles. Now what vehicles are? They are artifacts that have power and toughness. They're not creatures. Now to be able to turn them into creatures, we need to have a crew. Now we can find that out by the crew number that's written on the card. So for example, if a vehicle has crew 3, it means that we can tap any number of creatures up to the power of 3 or greater to crew it to make it into a vehicle. Because as you can probably understand, you know, your car can't drive itself without you being present. You know, we still haven't mastered the self-driving car, and neither has Kaladesh, you know, so we need some help. I mean, I'm going to use some extreme cases here because flavor wise I'm not too sure how flavorful it's going to be for a demon and a Drazi, a Pegasus, or a, I don't know, a giant to want to crew a creature. I'm not too sure how flavorful that's going to be, but it does look like they're having a heap of fun over Wizards, and it's great to see that they are creating new design space for artifacts, and that they're not just plain and boring, that they have so much usability now. It's really good. I'm not too sure I'm a huge fan of tapping down my own creatures to make one creature more active. I think it would depend on if that creature is better than the creature I'm tapping, then maybe I might consider that. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how vehicles play out with Kaladesh's release. The next mechanic I want to talk about is Fabricate. Now Fabricate features on creatures. What it means is that there's Fabricating and a number. Now we get +1/+1 counters on that creature equal to that number, or a number of 1/1 servo artifact creatures equal to that number as well, or yeah, to that number as well. So we can choose either to make a creature bigger or to have more creatures. Now I think a lot of time that I'm casting this, I can see myself making an additional creature because I like to have board position and I like to be in head and board. You know, it helps to be in head and board because I'm probably doing everything I can to win more Magic games in the long run. I can see there's certain cases where I might favour the +1/+1 over the additional creatures, but there's a very few and far in between that I'm going to be choosing that. I like the Wizards are trying to do this whole 2-for-1 thing and trying to make creatures have more value. It's really good. It's going to be interesting how Fabricate pans out. I think with Fabricate being a thing, I think aggro is going to probably become more prominent on here. I do think that's going to become more prominent on Magic Duels, because a lot of people will see the benefit and the potential of what those creatures have to offer, and yeah, I can definitely see that happening. The last thing I want to talk about with Kaladesh's release, not really a mechanic, but it's a rewording they've now changed the wording of put a creature onto the battlefield, and you may have heard me mention it a couple of times when I've been doing my deck techs and been playing games, is that they've changed the wording to create. So a good example would be to create a 4/4 creature token. It saves a lot of text and it makes it a bit more easier to understand. I mean, it makes perfect sense that we are creating something rather than putting it onto the battlefield. You know, that always seemed kind of weird to me, is that we got this creature from the ether and we just put it onto the battlefield, like it just appeared. Now we're creating it, so we feel more powerful as a planeswalker, as a wizard should. We feel more powerful that we are actually creating these things, and they're our creations, and it's really good because it helps make sense to beginners. It helps make sense to explain it. Really, it's really good, and I like what Wizards have done there. So it's very, very good. The next thing I want to talk about is what's coming with the updates. So they've announced two things that are coming. They're both aesthetic things. The first thing is going to be we're going to have access to full art lands. Now, don't get excited, people. These are not unhinged full art lands. These are Zendikar full art lands, which is cool. I like it. I like that they're doing this and they're adding that to the game. I would like to see if the lands are going to be dynamic and change. That would be good if they could. What I mean by that is, so with each set we get on Magic Duels, the basic lands artwork changes to the newer set. So it would be pretty awesome if the full art lands changed as well. That would be pretty cool as well. If they change dynamically, we would actually essentially have access to mana that you can't get anywhere else, which is really nice, and it gives Magic Duels a bit of its own identity as well. The other thing they've announced as well with this new release that's coming in the next couple of weeks is the fact that we're getting card sleeves. Now, I'm a huge fan of giving people customability. Huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of microtransactions when it's done right, and this is a good example of microtransactions done right. Giving people the access to be able to have card sleeves increases the unique look and the unique feel for each player. It makes their games more personal to them, which is great, and it makes it feel more like they're playing tabletop rather than just playing a generic sort of free-to-play game. There are 3 levels, though. I've noticed it seems like there's a basic level, one for each set, and then a premium. It's going to be interesting on what the premium actually entails, whether they're going to be, I don't know, whether they're going to be moving art, or whether they're going to be sleeves that are already in print, or whether they're going to be foil versions of sleeves you already own. I don't know, but it's really interesting that they've done that. And from the pictures I've seen, only on the storefront in Steam, which you can go and check out, you'll see that each set seems to have 5 sleeves associated with it. So you can collect those sleeves if you want to, but they only seem to be showing like a few. They're not showing anything that's like premium, they're not showing anything that's basic. They're showing what I think is going to be the mid-range, which is about 300 for a pack of sleeves, which is okay. It's fine. I know they're not physical sleeves of touch and feel, but it still gives it more sort of customability. It also helps people like myself who own a YouTube channel, because now we can, every season we can change it up, and we can have a different sleeve, so we can keep things looking fresh and keep things looking nice for our videos, and it makes it so much nicer for the experience of what this channel is about. It's creating content, you know. So I like that as well, and I can imagine there's going to be quite a few people who will want to collect all the sleeves in the set, you know. That is definitely going to be a thing. But yeah, they announced obviously there was a couple of bug fixes as well. and it's really good that they're still taking an active part in doing that, and I'm really impressed that they're with the changes they're doing in regards to the bugs. I wish that they would look at the connectivity issues of Two-Headed Giant, but you know, I guess they don't think enough people play that to warrant looking at it, but they should really. Anyhow, guys, enough of me banging on about Kaladesh and what I think of it. I think it's gonna be a good set. I think I'm looking forward to it. And it's gonna be pretty sweet. Cannot wait to play with his new cards and his new mechanics. Anyhow, guys, it's gonna be a normal service on Friday, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.